European Commission has unveiled its new Automotive Action Plan. Trump exempts some car makers from tariffs. New models from Volkswagen, Audi, Volvo and MG, and an EU battery recycling initiative has been launched. This is the Automotive Update, presented by AutoVista24. I'm Special Content Editor Phil Curry, and you are listening to the Automotive Update, where we explore some of the week's biggest news stories in the automotive market. We start with a new Automotive Action Plan for the EU, launched this week by the European Commission. The report covers several areas, all designed to improve Europe's automotive market and make it more competitive on the global stage. The biggest talking point from the new plan is the increased flexibility on compliance for the latest CO2 emissions targets. If adopted, the amendment will extend the compliance period from 1 year to 3, meaning targets will be assessed in 2025, 2026 and 2027. This allows car makers to compensate for exceeding the fleet average limits in 1 or 2 of these years by overachieving in the remaining time. The report also outlines plans to accelerate the uptake of zero-emission vehicles in corporate fleets, with a separate document on this subject. The Commission plans to make zero-emission vehicles more attractive through fiscal policy, either by reducing corporate benefits on traditional vehicles or improving the treatment of zero-emission models. There are also opportunities to boost rental uptake by increasing the number of charging points at airports. Other areas highlighted by the action plan include legislation to make it easier for automotive third parties to access vehicle data. Plans are also in place to increase the market's competitiveness and supply chain resilience, especially when it comes to battery manufacturing. The Commission also wants to increase the level of skilled workers in the industry. Some OEMs such as Stellantis welcomed the announcement of the plan. In a statement, the group said, "The flexibility introduced regarding CO2 targets with an extended compliance period is a meaningful first step in the right direction to preserve the competitiveness of our sector while remaining faithful to the targets and committed to electrification. It is now important that the proposed targeted amendment be turned into law quickly." This initiative, together with further support to targeted purchase and fiscal incentives, cheaper green energy, and investment into charging infrastructure, can be a real accelerator in the ramp-up towards electrification, Stellantis continued. US President Donald Trump will exempt some car makers from his plans to enforce tariffs of 25% on goods coming from Mexico and Canada, which began this week. According to the BBC, the tariff exemption is for cars made in North America that comply with the continent's existing free trade agreement. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Trump had backed a 1-month exemption to the tariffs for the car industry after pleas from Ford, General Motors and Stellantis, which have supply chains that stretch across North America. The free trade deal was negotiated by Trump in his first term as president, and sets out rules for how much of a car must be made in each country to qualify as duty-free. Meanwhile, Reuters has reported that car makers will have to increase vehicle prices if they are subjected to the 25% tariffs. All car makers will be impacted by these tariffs on Canada and Mexico, said John Bozzella, who heads the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, which represents most major manufacturers in the US. AutoVista24 will be publishing a new video exploring tariffs next week. To make sure you don't miss it, why not sign up to the free daily email by filling in the form at autovista24.com. This will keep you up to date with all of our exclusive analysis from the automotive market, together with information on upcoming webinars, model launch reports, monthly market residual value analysis and more. We would love to hear your thoughts on the automotive update. As the podcast is hosted by Spotify, you can leave a comment by heading over to the app. We are also available on Apple Podcasts and Amazon Music. But no matter where you listen, be sure to subscribe. And check out AutoVista24's YouTube channel as well, where you'll find our exclusive video features. In new model news, Volkswagen has unveiled the affordable ID Everyone concept car. The model, which would retail at €20,000, is an entry-level spec battery electric vehicle that will go into production in 2027. The production version of the ID Everyone will be the first model in the entire Volkswagen Group to use a fundamentally new software architecture. This allows it to be equipped with new functions throughout its entire life cycle. The carmaker says it plans to unveil 9 new models by 2027, including 4 electric cars based on this new architecture. Meanwhile, Audi has unveiled the new A6 Avant, which it says is more dynamic, efficient and digital than ever. The model features the company's mild hybrid plus system and an aerodynamic drag coefficient of 0.25, giving it improved performance. Volvo launched its ES90 model this week. It is the first Volvo car featuring 800-volt technology, enabling a longer range and faster charging. The ES90 can add 300 kilometers of range to its battery in just 10 minutes at 350 kilowatt fast charging stations, and offers a total driving range of up to 700 kilometers under the WLTP testing cycle. MG has teased its upcoming S5 EV, an all-new electric SUV due to arrive in spring 2025. It is built on the carmaker's modular scalable platform, and according to the company, the model also features a reimagined premium cabin. Mercedes-Benz has received approval for special marker lights as part of its automated driving test in Germany. This approval is valid nationwide for testing purposes and is initially limited until July 2028. The turquoise exterior lighting, now permitted by special exemption, indicates to other road users whether the conditionally automated driving function is activated. This also allows traffic authorities and police to recognise the system's status more easily and determine whether the driver is allowed to engage in other activities if the function is being used. The special exemption, granted by the Stuttgart Regional Council, is initially valid for testing purposes. Insights gained from this initial phase can contribute to shaping the legal framework that will later enable series production. Also in the Stuttgart region, Wave is extending its global footprint in mainland Europe, with the launch of an on-road testing and development hub in Germany and the deployment of a new test vehicle fleet. The Baden-Württemberg-based testing and development hub will focus on improving advanced driver assistance systems such as lane change assistance, while advancing automated driving capabilities for future production-ready solutions. A new EU project, Beyond Bat Rec, has brought 12 partners together to work on innovative battery recycling technologies under the leadership of Aalborg University. The aim is to recover 95% of critical metals from electric vehicle batteries such as cobalt, nickel and copper. It also wants to improve the scalability of industrial applications. The project was launched at the end of 2024 and will run for 4 years. In addition to a very high rate of recovery of key battery materials, the participants are also aiming to reuse over 70% of the battery weight, reduce CO2 emissions by 50% and recover 95% of non-metallic parts. Beyond Bat Rec is being funded with €7.45 million as part of the Horizon Europe programme. If you want to read more about the stories covered in this episode, head over to the show notes where you'll find a link to the companion article on AutoVista 24. This episode was co-produced and fact-checked by AutoVista 24 journalist Tom Hooker. Additional thanks also go to AutoVista 24 editor Tom Gegas and web editor James Roberts. The music was Better Find a Solution Fast by Richard Ames. Be sure to sign up to the AutoVista 24 daily email and subscribe to this podcast on your preferred audio platform. Thanks for listening to the AutoVista 24 podcast.